What's up, everybody? This is Passion here, and welcome to my wrap-up for the E3 2018 Xbox media briefing. This was a super jam-packed show with a lot of games. It was like an hour and a half long, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can, but it may end up being at least 45 minutes long, maybe even longer. So let's just hop into all the games and everything that was announced at Xbox's E3 show, and I'll give my takes on it along the way, and give you guys like a final ranking and most anticipated game of show at the end. So the first thing we kicked it off with was Halo Infinite. This is coming to Xbox One and PC, and it will continue Master Chief's story. And it was also announced that from here on out, the series will no longer be doing numbered entries, even though this is still technically Halo 6. So it will be the first mainline Halo game coming to PC in 14 years. So I'm super glad that we're getting a PC version of Halo. Finally, it's about time. And the big thing here is that the game will actually be powered by a brand new engine that Microsoft has made called Slipspace. So, and it was also what the trailer was rendered in as well, so we got to see what the Slipspace engine could do, and it looks gorgeous, you guys. I can't wait to see what Halo Infinite has in store. There's no release date given, but it will be coming eventually. So next, Phil Spencer came on stage to say that everyone who purchased a ticket to Xbox's Fan Fest they had at E3 had 100% of their tickets proceeds go to Gamers Outreach, which is a charity aimed at helping children in hospitals game with their friends, which I thought was a really cool thing of Microsoft to do, to not make any profit off of this Fan Fest and let fans play the games that they want to play, all these new games that are coming out, while also doing some good as well, so that was really awesome. So then we moved into a gameplay trailer for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and honestly, while the game still did look cool, it looked like a game that I would want to play, it wasn't really the beautiful show-stealing trailer that I hoped it would be. It wasn't as really captivating as it was last year, or even when compared to some of the other trailers we've seen so far at E3. So it wasn't the best trailer it could have been, but it was still an effective trailer at getting me to want to play the game. So I probably won't pick it up at launch, but I probably will pick it up when it's on sale at some point. And the game does have a vague 2019 release window. So then next was a total shocker, because here I am watching the Xbox conference, not expecting the new From Software game to come out until Sony's conference, because here I'm thinking it's Bloodborne 2 and it's going to be a Sony exclusive. But boom, suddenly From Software shows up at the Xbox stage and unveils Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. So the Shadows Die Twice was actually part of the name that was teased at the Game Awards. Totally had me fooled. I could have sworn it was Bloodborne 2, but nope, it's a totally new game. And in fact, in the funny twist, it's actually not being published by From Software's usual partner of Atlas, and instead this time will be handled by none other than Activision. So that's something interesting. And the game will be set in a supernatural version of ancient Japan, where you will play as a ninja with a pretty interesting kind of left arm. His skin and muscle is like kind of melted off, so you can only see the bone of his like forearm and hand. And he has this kunai thing like on a rope that he can use for traversing the map and also using it in combat. He has various like attachments that go onto it and stuff. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And it looks like the Shadows Die Twice subtitle isn't just for aesthetics, because there also appears to be some kind of like resurrection or second life mechanic kind of built into the game, or you will be resurrected if you die for the first time. So that's really interesting. Well, I'll have to see how all of this plays out, especially with Activision at the helm of publishing, because we all know how Activision can get with their microtransactions and all their stuff. So we'll have to see what happens with them when they're publishing. But this is the first Soulsborne game that I'm really hyped for, besides Code Vein, which I'm also maybe looking to pick up as well. And it was not given a specific release date, but a vague 2019 release window was announced. So next, Todd Howard from Bethesda took the stage to announce that Fallout 4 was hitting Xbox Game Pass that day. right after the show was over, you could go onto Xbox Game Pass and get Fallout 4 if you are an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. So that's really, really cool. And then that instinctively led into the world premiere trailer for Fallout 76. And this game is going to be a prequel to the entire Fallout universe set in West Virginia in Vault 76. It is 4 times, not 3, 4 times the size of Fallout 4. And in the lore of Fallout, Vault 76 was about one of about a dozen control vaults where Vault-Tec was actually not experimenting on its inhabitants, and it just let them live their lives normally. So that's really interesting. And there wasn't really any more information announced about this game in the Xbox briefing, but if you want to hear more of what the game is actually like and what I think about it, you can watch my wrap-up of the Bethesda showcase. But for now, just know that this trailer had me pretty hyped for the game. So then we moved into a really kind of interesting announcement. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. So this is a game that takes place in the Life is Strange universe and follows a 10-year-old boy named Chris and his widower father. So Chris will often play throughout the game as his imaginary superhero persona of Captain Spirit. And in my guess, this whole superhero persona is going to really be a result of him wishing he could have saved his mom from dying. That's just kind of my take on it based on what we've seen in the trailer. It looks to be just as emotional as the other Life is Strange games, and despite this being a separate and contained story from the main games, Don't Nod has said that Life is Strange 2 is currently in development as well. So this is not a sequel to Life is Strange or a sequel to Before the Storm. This is just a standalone kind of thing that they're doing in the same universe, but that proper sequel with those characters that we care about is coming as well. So while this trailer didn't really get me too excited, I did like that it showed the potential for other stories that could be told within the Life is Strange universe. And that premise is exciting for me. Like, now that I've kind of come around, especially since last year when they revealed Before the Storm, I really wasn't, that happy about it. But over time, I've come to kind of appreciate the Life is Strange games, and I haven't played them, but I'm starting to not hate them like I used to. And the idea of being able to use this art style and use this universe that they've created to tell very different stories is really, really exciting to me, and I'm eager to see what comes next from Don't Nod. So the cool thing is that this game will actually be completely 100% free when it launches in 2 weeks on June 26th on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And they also said, though, however, that if you are a Life is Strange fan, you should pick up this game, because the ending of this game will directly set up the main plot line for the sequel, Life is Strange 2. So make sure you play through this game, get to the ending to see what Life is Strange 2 might be about. So next, we got a trailer for Crackdown 3. And Terry Crews is actually not just an actor, setting up a commercial for the game, but he's actually now properly in the game. They modeled him in the game, and he's a character in the game. And you can actually play as him as one of the main characters, which is amazing. And this trailer was full of that, just signature Terry Crews, Old Spice Man humor. I absolutely loved it. It was a great trailer. I was kind of really too busy laughing at everything to really get excited for the game properly, but the trailer was still cool. And we did get a solid release window of February 2019 as well. Next was kind of interesting. The Nier Automata Become as Gods edition. So there we go. We got a trailer for that. And this game it's Nier Automata, but it's basically the definitive edition. It will come with all the DLC for the game, as well as 4K enhancements for Xbox One X. And there are no words yet as to whether the Become as Gods edition is launching on other platforms, or if it's just an Xbox exclusive, or maybe it's just a time exclusive. We don't know, but I'll definitely be picking, at least at some point, just the base game of Nier Automata, and maybe the DLC as well. I'll be picking all of that up because I've always wanted to play this game, and to be able to have it with all the DLC would be really cool for me. So next we went into a gameplay trailer for Metro Exodus. And I absolutely loved that the trailer's soundtrack, the trailer's music, is the song Angel by Massive Attack, which is a song that I've heard before, absolutely love. I have it on a playlist on Spotify. It's really awesome. It got me super hyped for the game to hear the song that I really loved, combined with these, this gameplay. And it was also cool to see some of the other supporting characters from the other Metro games as well in the trailer. It does look like you'll also be playing as that same protagonist that we've played through in the other Metro games as well. And we did finally get a solid release date of February 22nd, which is the same day actually as Anthem and Days Gone. So February 22nd is going to be a really busy day for gamers with all these with these big 3 games coming out, and maybe potentially Crackdown 3 if that releases on the same day as well. We'll have to see. So next was also pretty exciting, especially if you are an Xbox fan, because Kingdom Hearts 3 had its release date trailer on the Xbox stage. So for the first time, yes, Kingdom Hearts is coming to Xbox. It still is coming to the PS4, don't worry, but Kingdom Hearts is no longer a PlayStation exclusive. It is now multi-platform, so that's really cool. The trailer showed off a lot of the Frozen Kingdom, as well as some of the Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, Monsters, Inc., and Toy Story kingdoms. And what I was really happy to see is that Hikaru Utada is back with yet another new theme song. This one was called Don't Think Twice, and it was absolutely beautiful. Made me really hyped for the game, while at the same time making the trailer, really entertaining. So I'm glad to see that's back. Also, the trailer ends with what looks to be Aqua from some of the previous games being actually a Heartless, which is mind-blowing. And actually, the release date for Kingdom Hearts 3 was actually dropped the night before the Xbox briefing at the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra World Tour. I believe they had their, venue in LA that night before the Xbox conference, and they announced it there, and the game is officially launching. Finally, after all these years, it's been 6 years almost since Kingdom Hearts 3 was officially first announced. The game is finally coming out January 29th. Just 6 months to go. January 29th, 2019, Kingdom Hearts 3, it's coming. Let's do it, baby. So, next we went into some expansions for Sea of Thieves. Now, the trailer mainly focused on the second expansion, by setting up the world and the lore a little bit of the expansion before ending with a nice little bit of humor that I liked. However, there were actually 2 expansions announced. The first was called Cursed Sails, and it will be out this coming July in 2018. And the second one was called Forsaken Shores, and it will be out in September 2018. So get excited for that if you're playing Sea of Thieves. Next, we went into the Battlefield 5 Nordly's War Story trailer, and this was the full reveal for the teaser that EA showed us the day before at their EA Play conference. However, I am kind of sad to say that it kind of disappointed. It was only slightly longer than the actual teaser, and still didn't really give any suggestion about where the story was headed. So hopefully, I'm hoping and praying that they can still manage to sell me on this game by delving more into it at Gamescom. I really hope that EA brings it to Gamescom and really talks about it more and really gives us more insight on what the single player is going to be. So next was a really big one for me. It's one ahead on my predictions list, one I was really hoping to see, and we did see it. So yes, thank you for this, Xbox. Forza Horizon 4, yes. So the game will officially be taking place in Britain instead of Japan, like some were speculating. I was slightly disappointed that it's not taking place in Japan, but I mean, hey, they made Britain look pretty good too, so I can't really complain. And it looks like there will also be potentially drivable motorbikes in the game, like motocross bikes, as well as maybe a showcase race against a hovercraft, which is really unique and interesting. And of course, after the trailer, we did go into a live gameplay demo featuring a bunch of people from Xbox, including the Xbox, or not the Xbox, but the Forza esports pro Rebecca from last year coming back and doing part of the segment. So the demo showed off the McLaren Senna, which is also the main cover art car this year, along with one of the Land Rovers, but I don't know which one it actually was, and I couldn't find the information on it. But the McLaren Senna is the main cover art for this year, and it looks gorgeous in the game and on the cover. So this is something that got me excited. Drivatars appear to be finally gone. I mean, they were cool at first, that you know, the whole AI thing about, you know, Drivatars, but they're most often offline, you know. So now every other racer you encounter in Forza Horizon 4 is a real person in this new shared open world. And if you own an Xbox One X, you'll actually get access to the new 60 FPS mode as well. And one of the biggest draws to this game is the new dynamic seasons. So the game will be able to dynamically switch between spring, summer, fall, and winter, with each season not only changing the aesthetics of the map, but also changing the terrain. So for example, they did in the demo, in winter, the lakes will actually freeze solid, allowing you to actually drive over them where you previously couldn't. So that's kind of an example of how the seasons shape the gameplay. And there is also a brand new communication wheel that's, you know, put onto the D-pad that you can easily communicate with other drivers in the game and you know, send simple phrases to them while you're out in the world, which is really cool. And it looks finally like there is proper drifting in the game. Finally, not just, you know, not tapping the e-brake and stuff and trying to like turn your car sideways. It looks like there's proper drifting in the game now, which is good. I don't know how it works, but at least it looks good, and it looks like they fixed the look of drifting. And hashtag Forzathon is also now going to be called hashtag Forzathon Live, and hashtag Forzathon Live will allow players in the shared open world to finally work together to complete challenges and earn rewards, instead of just having like this big you know, generic challenge that each individual player can complete. Now all the players in the world are going to be able to come together and compete in these challenges to unlock rewards for everyone, which is really, really awesome. And yes, Forza Horizon 4 will be included in the Xbox Game Pass at launch. And I'm actually thinking about, right after I finish recording this and right before I go set up for the live reactions to the Sony conference, I'm pre-ordering this game. Like, I have to have it on launch day. So next we went into some announcements of some studio acquisitions. So Phil Spencer came back on to announce some information about Microsoft Studios, which is their first-party collective of, you know, development studios. And he said that they are currently forming a brand new studio called The Initiative. And in addition to creating this team at The Initiative, they have also acquired these other studios. They've acquired Undead Labs, which are the creators of State of Decay. They've acquired Playground Games, obviously the creators of Forza Horizon, and also the soon-to-be-announced new RPG project that we know they're working on. Another one that was exciting to me, Ninja Theory, the creators of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice and DMC Devil May Cry, are now part of Microsoft Studios. And Compulsion Games, the creators of the upcoming We Happy Few. And so that naturally led into the new story trailer for We Happy Few. And so after not hearing about this game much for a long time, I'd kind of forgotten about it, especially after I heard that Jim Sterling had been dropped from the project as a voice actor when he kind of criticized the game for being sort of bland when it was during the alpha phase. However, the story trailer did kind of reinvigorate that hype for me and got me excited again, just like when the first trailer dropped back in like 2016. And I am definitely glad that it is coming out this year, which, if you guys didn't know, the release date is August 10th, 2018. Of course, we already know that the game takes place in an alternate 1960s London in which the Allied forces lost World War II, and most of the city has become addicted to a happy drug called joy to become blissfully ignorant of the horrors of their situation. So, the new trailer suggests that you'll be playing as someone who aims to help the city get off of the joy so they can wake up to these horrors and start truly working to make the community a better place. So another exciting thing too is that the game is also coming out for PS4, which I didn't know that would happen. I don't know when the decision was made to bring the game to PS4, but I am definitely happy it's not just an Xbox exclusive anymore. so PS4 players can get into this amazing game as well. So from there we went into an updates trailer for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So in addition to some of the other maps that PC players already have, the new Sandhawk map that PC players will soon be able to play on June 22nd will also be hitting the Xbox One later this summer. And it was also teased that there is going to be a new winter-themed map coming sometime this winter that features the ability to track enemy footprints through the snow, which if you've played a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you know how helpful that's probably going to be. So that's really exciting. From there, we went into the trailer for Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, and this game is being released to celebrate Tales of Vesperia's 10th anniversary, and it's being remastered and re-released with previously Japan-only content into the West, which is amazing. So the Definitive Edition will include 2 new playable party characters, Patty Floor and Flynn Sifo, I believe that's how his name is said. And it will also utilize the specialized version of the Tales of game's linear battling system, where players will control a single party member, while the other party members are controlled by customizable AI attacks. And players can actually swap between these characters, anytime during a battle. So if the game ever does go on sale, I might pick it up, but it's certainly not a day one purchase for me. Next, we went into the world premiere trailer and gameplay demo for The Division 2. Now, the game will take place like 7 months after the outbreak in Washington, D.C. But to me, this was the weakest point of the show. It insisted on using even more of that forced fake gamer dialogue, like the fake gamer voice chat that Ubisoft just loves to keep on using despite everyone telling them that they hate it. And the gameplay just also looked like copy-pasted right from the first game. The UI, the sound effects, the enemies, everything just looked like it was just copy-pasted into this new game. It just felt so lazy and uninspired, and the only notable difference was the locale and the fact that co-op players could interact with NPCs separately, and then you'd be able to see your squad mates talking to them while you continue to explore the area. Beyond that, though, it just felt like more of the same just throughout it. Though I will give it credit, though, that at least for making some of the fake dialogue come off as slightly less irritating at times than in the past. There were a couple of lines in there that were funny and did feel a bit natural, like gamer speak. But most of it was just so unrealistically coordinated and serious that, it's hard to take the game seriously when they do that. But the game will have a beta before it launches in March 2019. So next, we had some announcements from the head of Xbox Game Pass. So the service will be seeing an improvement in game launch speeds called Fast Start coming this month in the June update. It will use machine learning to adapt to how gamers play, and at launch it will be able to make your games launch twice as fast as usual. It was also announced that Ashen, Warhammer Vermintide 2, Afterparty, and Phoenix Point are all coming to Xbox Game Pass the same day as their global release. And in addition to Fallout 4, Tom Clancy's The Division and The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited were also live on Xbox Game Pass right now in 4K on Xbox One X. So that was really exciting for anybody who has an Xbox Game Pass subscription. So next, let's go into the obligatory ID at Xbox 2018 announcements. Again, there was no studios given, just titles of games. So I'm just going to go through the games and talk about anything special that they announced with them during the sizzle reel. So first we had Outer Wilds, which is a console launch exclusive, Afterparty, which is coming to Xbox Game Pass, Kingdom 2 Crowns, The Golf Club 2019, Warhammer Vermintide 2 on Xbox Game Pass, Fringe Wars, Below, which is a console launch exclusive, Conqueror's Blade, Waking, which is a console launch exclusive, Raji and Ancient Epic, Super Meat Boy Forever, Planet Alpha, Islands of Nine Battle Royale, Sable, Harold Halibut, a handmade adventure game, Bomber Crew, which is coming to Xbox Game Pass, Children of Morta, The Wind Road, War Groove, Generation Zero, Dead Cells, Ashen, which is also coming to Xbox Game Pass, and is also a console launch exclusive. So those were all the ID at Xbox games for this year. I think there were a lot more this year than really any other year. So it's good on Xbox for continuing their indie program. Next, we moved into a story trailer for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And this game will see Lara trying to prevent the Mayan apocalypse, which is probably the most badass plot for a Tomb Raider game I have ever heard. So I really, really love this trailer. It kind of reminded me a lot of like sort of like the old James Bond movies, like kind of how they had like the mirrored image throughout it. And I really loved it. It was actually one of my favorite trailers at the show. And the whole Dia de los Muertos segments have me really, really intrigued, and that alone just makes me want to pick up the game to see what that's about. And I probably actually will pick up this game, either on launch day or shortly after release. And when the Tomb Raider reboot first came to be, I didn't really care about it. It didn't seem really interesting to me. But after seeing everyone heap so much praise onto these reboots and talk about how great they are, it really did make me want to get into them. And this one does look really good, so I think that even though it is the final game in the trilogy that Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix have been putting together, I do think now is the time for me to jump in, no pun intended. So next we got a trailer for Session, which is a game that is a result of a Kickstarter campaign late last year that raked in 160,000 Canadian dollars. It is sort of a spiritual successor to the Skate series, in which players will use the dual stick control scheme, with each stick controlling a foot of the player character. And when not skating, the player will able to go into filmer mode, where they can catch the footage of their tricks and edit the footage together and then share it. I'm assuming over the sharing features of these consoles and PC and through social media and stuff. So from there, we went into a gameplay trailer for Black Desert, and they talked a little bit more in this trailer about the world that you'll be playing in, kind of gave a little bit of some lore details. Unfortunately, there was no release date given, but there will be a beta for the game this fall that you can sign up for if you're interested in that. But if you don't want to wait for the beta on Xbox One, of course, you can play the game right now on PC. Black Desert is an MMO without a subscription model, so once you buy the game, and you have it. And you can play it as much as you want. You can get started for as low as $10, or pay more if you want to get more stuff at the beginning of the game. I myself probably will get into it at some point, when I really feel like it. But there's just so much other good stuff. I don't know when I'm gonna get to that. But Black Desert is a game that I am definitely looking at. Next was a really big surprise announcement for a lot of people: the world premiere trailer of Devil May Cry 5. So this will be a true sequel to Devil May Cry 4, featuring the original characters and storylines from that game. So the game will actually not be tied at all to the Ninja Theory version of the franchise, DMC Devil May Cry, that released back in 2013. And it also seems like Dante has some sort of new upgradable arm, because in the trailer we see that someone we're speculating is probably Virgil rips off his real demon arm, and in the place of that arm, he gets a new cybernetic arm that can be used for combat and map traversal and stuff. So the game looks absolutely gorgeous, and the soundtrack is still amazing. Still really rocking that awesome soundtrack. It also sounds like maybe potentially Combi Crisis back for the music again, which would be really, really cool. And this is definitely a game that I'm most certainly picking up at launch. Next, we went into an announcement that got me pretty excited. The Cuphead The Delicious Last Course DLC reveal trailer. So this DLC for Cuphead will feature a new playable character, Miss Chalice, as well as a new isle, new bosses, new weapons, new charms, and another new character called Chef Saltbaker. And this DLC will launch for the game in 2019. Next, we got a short little trailer for Tunic, and although Tunic was first revealed at E3 2017, this time we finally got a good look at the game, and it's going to be sort of like a Zelda-style adventure starring an adorable little fox character, and surprisingly, it's actually being made by a one-man team. Just one guy is making this game, just all by himself, in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is amazing. There is no word, though, on a release date for this game. Next, I'm sure a lot of people that I know probably would get pretty excited for this one. This was the world premiere trailer for Jump Force. So this is an anime fan's dream game. Okay, it will be a 3D fighter, like kind of in the vein of the Dragon Ball Budokai games, if you remember those, featuring all your favorite Shonen Jump characters, including Naruto, Luffy from One Piece, Goku and Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, and even at the end of the trailer, they teased Light Yagami and Ryuk from Death Note, which is really exciting, and it's being published by Bandai Namco, some of the experts in fighting games. And we just got a vague 2019 release window on this, but I'm super hyped for this game. Being a big anime fan, love a lot of these anime that are featured in this game, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. So next, we got the world premiere trailer and gameplay demo for Dying Light 2. This game looks like it might have a slightly better story than the first time around, as it takes us to what the presenter called the modern Dark Ages. So you will make hundreds of choices in the game that will not only affect the outcome of the story, but also the world itself. Because the game will kind of also lean pretty heavily on its management sim aspects. Of course, all the staples of the series that everybody loves are there, including the parkour, the first-person melee combat, and the zombies emerging in the nighttime to scare the pants off of you and eat you. So the first Dying Light was really interesting to me, but it also seemed like it was kind of intense when it got to nighttime, as well as it also kind of having a weak story anyway. However, I am willing to give this sequel a chance to try to impress me sometime after launch. I'll have to look at the reviews for it, but otherwise, like, it's I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to see how this new Dying Light game performs and how good it is. There was no release window or anything given, just some information about the game, and that was it. We don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming out eventually. Next, I'm sure nobody in their right mind would have ever predicted this to come to E3. But we got a teaser for the reboot of Battletoads. Honestly, I literally just think Microsoft rebooted this series literally just for the memes and nothing else. like they announced this just for the memes and for the lulz and no other reason. But Battletoads coming sometime 2019. Okay. Next we went into the world premiere trailer for Just Cause 4. This game features the same crazy physics and over-the-top action that fans love. It is running in Avalanche Studios' brand new Apex engine, which features physics-based rendering as well as actual wind and a new animation system. So you can actually drive or fly into a tornado in this game, which, thanks to the Apex engine, will actually behave like an actual tornado and pick up debris around it. And the game will take place in the fictional South American country of Solis, and Rico's iconic grappling hook now has some attachable mods that you can put on there that give you some special powers. And the game officially launches December 4th, 2018. Next, we went into our Gears announcements, which there were actually surprisingly a lot of them. I'm surprised that we got as many as we did. The first thing announced was Gears Pop, which is... we got a world premiere trailer for that. It is a collaborative game between the Coalition and the folks over at Funko, which are the makers of those Funko Pop figurines that you'll always see in, like, pop culture stores like Newberry Comics or GameStop or wherever. All those little, with the giant heads and the small bodies, those little figurines, the Funko Pops. This is a collaboration between the Coalition and those guys. And there's no really details about what this game was actually going to be, but it's going to feature the Gears universe pop figures. It's going to be set in the Gears universe as well. So that will come out for iOS and Android sometime in 2019. Next, Rod Ferguson came out to talk about Gears Tactics, which is a new turn-based strategy game coming to the PC exclusively. It looks like that it's going to take place 12 years before the first Gears game, and it will feature a character-driven story, customizable squads and equipment, and of course, epic boss battles. But again, no release window was given for this. However, the big thing that people were really looking towards was the world premiere trailer of Gears 5. So this game will see you playing as Kate this time around, which is super awesome for me because Kate was one of the most like interesting characters out of Gears 4 when I watched the reveal for that. I mean, I still didn't play Gears 4, but Kate was certainly the most interesting character in that reveal, and I'm so glad we're going to be playing as her this time. So the game world is also, they said, is their biggest one to date, and the trailer looked super emotional and strayed far away from like the super macho testosterone-fueled action of the previous trilogy, and also stayed away from the lighthearted, like tongue-in-cheek tone of the Gears 4 trailer from E3 a couple of years ago. And I actually really loved it. It was a really, really good trailer. And it may look like Kate might have some ties to the Locust in the story of the game that will be like kind of unveiled as the game plays out. So we'll see. But Gears 5, I'm getting hyped for Gears 5. I may actually pick it up. I've never been big on the Gears games, but this one does look good, and this one has piqued my interest, so I may check it out. And just before, just as Phil Spencer was out saying, "Well, thank you guys for coming out. I hope you guys have a great E3." Before he could finish his sentence, stuff started flickering and things started going crazy, and we got the mother of all reveals for E3 this year from Xbox, and that was the cinematic trailer for Cyberpunk 2077. It finally gave us a really good look at the world, and showed us the game a little bit. It's absolutely breathtaking what CD Projekt Red is doing over there for Cyberpunk 2077. There wasn't a whole lot in terms of the story to piece together, but you were able to get a pretty good sense of what the game was going to be just from the trailer. And my God, this is most certainly a pre-order for me when this game, when the pre-orders for this game come out. We don't know the release window, but it is still coming for PS4, Xbox One, and PC sometime. But I can't wait for Cyberpunk 2077. It's going to be awesome. So that was the Xbox conference. I absolutely loved this conference. Everybody else is saying this is Microsoft just killed it this year. I totally agree. So far, I still think it is the best conference out of E3 so far. And I am going to be giving it a letter grade of an A. Absolutely amazing show Microsoft put on. I got excited for so many games here. It was incredible. And I think my most anticipated game of show has to go to Forza Horizon 4. I'm pre-ordering it. I have to get it on launch day. I'm super stoked for that game. And I can't wait to hop back into that and spend even more hours playing Forza Horizon. So some honorable mentions, of course, go to Fallout 76, Kingdom Hearts 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Devil May Cry 5, and Cyberpunk 2077. Those are all games I'm also pretty stoked to get my hands on and check out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to check out all of my videos from E3 this year. I also got the Bethesda wrap up to do, and the Ubisoft wrap up to do. I'm about to go live in a few minutes with my live PlayStation reaction, and of course I'll have my wrap up of that one after it's done. And of course Nintendo live reactions and wrap up are also coming. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy my coverage of E3 2018. Peace out.